Hey, welcome back to DocGirlRambles. I am Dr. Bree and I'm here to talk about licensing. So full transparency, I recorded this video once already, and the problem with it was I was sitting on the floor in my living room. You could see some weird stuff in the background, and I was not in the best space in this like licensing purgatory, so it felt very rushed and chaotic. So I'm gonna try this again when I am feeling in a better headspace. But I want to talk about licensure for psychologists because I've gotten some questions about it as I'm currently going through the process, and it's hard to answer people's questions when every state has very different requirements. So first I'll share Rhode Island, which is where I am licensed right now, and then I'll talk about North Carolina, where I'm currently in the process of getting licensed. So in Rhode Island and most states, licensure requirements is that you complete a pre-doctoral internship. A lot of places require them to be APA accredited. Most of them I think do, not all of them do. Not all states. My camera just ran out of space. I don't know where I was talking about. Most states require you to do a pre-doctoral internship. Sometimes the states require it to be APA accredited. Other times it doesn't. It just has to meet a certain number of hours. The hours come into play, and that's where it really varies across states. Some say that you need at least like 3,500 hours across pre-doctoral training and postdoctoral training. Some states require a postdoctoral experience. Some don't require it at all. Some require a state exam that's usually like a jurisprudence. It's like state law, state requirements, regulations, and then some have like an oral component. Rhode Island, despite their very slow process, was very straightforward. They have the application, you fill it out. Because I was doing my postdoc there, I got a temporary permit, so it allowed me to bill while I was training. But they just required an internship and a postdoctoral experience that is at least 1,500 hours. They didn't have any requirements about like how long your postdoc experience had to be, whether it had to be, within a year, 2 years, whatever. So I actually have been licensed in Rhode Island since June of this year, since June of 2025. I was still on my postdoc, but because I had hit the 1,500 hours, my postdoctoral program was able to sign off saying that I completed 1,500 hours and I got my license. Now, I thought having my license in Rhode Island would be helpful when I was applying in North Carolina. That's not the case because North Carolina does not have reciprocity with any states. I don't actually think Rhode Island does either. That was me not looking into things. North Carolina requires you have to have your internship. You have to have 1,500 hours of postdoctoral experience. However, that 1,500 hours has to be across a minimum of 12 months. So even though I had 1,500 by June, it wasn't a full year. So I wasn't actually able to apply for my license until I actually finished my postdoc. So by then I had 2,000 hours, but I didn't need that many. North Carolina also has a lot of forms that you have to fill out. Not all states have as many forms. Rhode Island, I feel like, had maybe like 2 or 3 forms. I feel like I sent in about 50 sheets of paper to North Carolina. They required 3 reference sheets. They required, in North Carolina, you also have to have the HSP, which is not the same thing as the National Register's HSP. HSP is Health Service Psychologist. National Register HSP is like its own credential thing. It's like a certification credential, which I do have. But that's separate from North Carolina, which is required for psychologists in North Carolina. So I also had to do that. I had already taken the EPPP from Rhode Island, so I just transferred those scores. But then in North Carolina, they have a state exam. So once you send in all of your forms, they review your applications, and then they basically clear you to take whatever exams you have to take. Because I already took the EPPP, they said, okay, great, here's your state exam. The reason I'm able to record this video and not be so frantic is because I just took that state exam, so I'm not waiting for them to give me the all clear. That's where I was the last time I tried to record this video, and it was like, I felt like there was just like steam coming off of my head while I was trying to record, so I'm chill-ish now. But all of those things take forever because some states, including both Rhode Island and North Carolina, require you to mail things in. They don't have an online process. I know some states do. But someone recently on Instagram asked me, like, what do I need to know to make sure, basically to make sure that I don't run into what you being me, ran into with licensing. And the unfortunate truth is that it depends on where you're gonna be, depends on when you're going to be applying, like where in the process you are. I was supposed to start on September 8th, and I'm recording this on October 9th. I'm recording this in the middle of a Thursday because I haven't started work yet, because I don't have my license yet. By the time I start in a couple weeks, I will have gone 2 months without an income. Had I known it was going to take that long, I probably would have gotten like a part-time gig, but by the time I realized I should have done that, not that it was too late, but then I would have started probably at the same time as when my full-time job will start. Anyway, tangent, but basically saying you need to talk to people who have, I would say, applied for initial licensure in whatever state you're going to, and I would also say talk to someone who's early career. Everyone, I think, has beef with their state board, but it's different beef for different reasons. My beef here is that everything is just slow, and they're very inflexible about the process, which is fine. Everything has to be the same. I just think the process should be better. It should, at minimum, you should be able to submit things online. Like, why did I have to mail in checks and money orders when electronic payment is a thing? My grandmother asked me that. Can't you pay online? Great question, Grandma. No, not here. So, all that to say, if you're going to be getting your license, like your permanent license, in a different state from where you completed any of your training, you might be in this like hold situation. I don't know if I would have been in this situation if I had stayed in Rhode Island within the system I was in, because I was licensed at this point 4 months ago. But I will say, a cheat that I also didn't take advantage of because I forgot is the National Register HSP credential that I mentioned. If you're currently a student or a trainee, you should go to nationalregister.com. I'll verify that that's the actual website, and apply for their associate program. I was in the associate program for a few years in my grad training. It was free, and you basically add your information like each step. So like your practicum experiences, your internship, your postdoc, and then once you finish all of those milestones, you can then apply for your well, you have to get licensed somewhere first, but you can apply for your HSP. And if you're in the associate program, the initial application fee is waived, and I think it's usually like $200 something. So I have my HSP credential, but I didn't pay anything for it. I didn't have to pay for my application. And had I thought about it early on, I would have applied for my license under the mobility option. And HSP is one of those. I think the other one is CPQ, which is through ASPPB. They're the same people who do the EBBB. Some states, they don't have reciprocity with other states, but if you have a credential that basically verifies all the information they're trying to collect from you, that can expedite the process. So I would encourage you to sign up for that, and I'll put the link in the description for that. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I recorded this when I felt lighter, because I didn't feel good about putting the other one that I did out there. So I hope this helps. It probably doesn't unless you are applying in Rhode Island or North Carolina, but just know that talk to people who have applied in the state you're going to be in, or you want to be in, so you can at least kind of get a move on. Yeah. But I know it's been a while since I've recorded a video, so I'm trying to get back to it. You might see more of my kitchen, you might see something else. I don't know, so we'll have to see.